thing, man. Dude, I'm nervous, man. We got a lot of mutual friends. And first off, the story that started was Dan Pompei, who was my guy 20 years ago. He was my insider at Sporting News Radio. He did the show every single week, and we did that for 4 years together when I was syndicated at the turn of the century. He's covered football in Chicago, and I couldn't figure out how he had such incredible access to you other than knowing your agent. But he wrote one of the most thoughtful, because most of you guys don't give access like that in the offseason, especially to something as sensitive as contract negotiations and that stuff. And I ran into Dan at the owners' meetings, and he just went on and on about you. And then all the San Diego people, Krasovic, Gelkin, they've all been texting me questions to ask you.
No,
and they swore you weren't going to bite. You just look like you're going to bite and hit. But first off, welcome to Baltimore. How's it going for you, man?
Man, it's been amazing. The people, the city, the organization has been nothing but loving. And
Whoa, I got you. Go ahead. We'll get it right. I'll get it right. I promise you.
Messing with all
Yeah, you're just a low talker. That's all it is. So yeah, that's all right.
It's been nothing but everything that I've wanted and more. So, it's been good since I've got out here in April, and now we're 2-0. And hopefully be 3-0 after this week.
All right. Well, I got to get the monitor right here. Otherwise, we're going to have a mess on our hands. Because you're a low talker and I'm a hot talker. So, I didn't run a sound check on all this stuff. So, for you, the one quote that really struck me in all of this was leaving your family and where to put your family. That your family was obviously the first thing, and everybody will say that, but that this became a family decision for you to come out here and pack up your bags, move. Have you ever lived? Other than getting off a plane to play a football game out here, how much time had you spent on the East Coast ever?
This is it. Playing on the East Coast is about the only magnitude of being out here. And like you said, it was a big decision coming into my 10th year. Married with 4 Rugrats. It's not just about me. It's what's best for Chanel and the kids, and making it the best fit for us, making it worthwhile. Wasn't going to sign a 1-year deal anywhere. It's not about that. It's about being in the right fit, making an impact on and off the field, and making a difference, knowing I could still play at a high level and lead and do the things necessary to help a team win. And Baltimore was the best fit for me.
Well, you gave a whole list of criteria you had, and I think we all have. I remember when I got married, I went and bought books just to try to figure out whether I, was doing it right and asking the right questions about it. From the free agency perspective, where did you go? Where did you lean on? And I think the day you signed here, I'm not shocked because I know the reputation of the organization, and I know every Trevor Price, every Rod Woodson, every all going back Shannon Sharp, Saragusa, all those guys forever came here and chose to come here and never regretted it. I mean, there was never a problem with the coaches or, boy, I picked the wrong place to go be a free agent. This has been a pretty popular place, and I don't know that I should be shocked by that. We haven't had a lot of cap room to go chasing anybody the last couple of years because we had our own guys we had to sign. So I was shocked that you came east, and I think all the rumors were that Oakland was going to get in line, but a bunch of teams got in line for you. I thought this was a validation of our franchise, you making a decision to saying, yeah, I'm going to go play there, and because I want to win there. This wasn't about money for you. It was about winning for you.
Oh, it's a championship organization. They win year in and year out. They're always in the playoffs, always have a chance at the ultimate goal, and that's to win a Super Bowl. I've done a lot of things individual in my career, played at a high level, but why do you play? And I play to win a Super Bowl. I play for my teammates, sacrifice and give everything I got for them when it counts on Sundays. So watching them from afar and obviously competing against them for 9 years was definitely envious of them and felt that I would be a perfect match for what they're all about and what I am. And it's been nothing but that and more.
I think, it's times like this. First off, John Harbaugh has invited my wife and I and our team from There Goes My Hero. I'll give it up for the Swabbers in the back who are here as well. They're with us all the time, 2.5 years. John Harbaugh is going to have the entire team swabbed on Friday, so we're going to do that this Friday. The word was, and this is so John, he'll kill me for saying this, he wanted to make sure we were 2-0 and that everybody was going to be in a good mood. So the word was, if we're 2-0, we'll swab the Friday before Jacksonville. And I'm like, All right, well, let's just, go beat the Bills and go beat the Browns, and we'll swab. So we are swabbing this week. And, the organization is a special place. And I think, through all of the problems, whether it was Ray Rice and Jamal Lewis and off-the-field issues, and, they had an incredible tragedy to one of what would have been your teammates in this offseason down in Miami. And then the Clarence Brooks thing happens right here out of the gate. Art Modell died the week the season began, the year we won the Super Bowl. And I've chronicled it in the book Purple Rain, too, that you'll be getting as a parting gift here today.
Nice.
It's like the Ellen Show. He's going to get a copy of the book. And with CB, CB was unfailingly asking me about my wife every time he saw me, because my wife's been battling for her life for 3 years. And in June, this is honest to God, the last time I saw CB, was in the big bubble. My wife was out there. She had less hair than she had now, but she was getting past the point where she looked sick. And the first thing he said when he saw me is, "How's your wife? Where's your wife?" And nobody recognizes her because her hair is different, you know? And he saw her, and he's like, "Oh, my God." And he hugged her, and we're like, "How are you?" He's like, "Don't worry about me. How are you?" Because that's CB. It's pretty good CB I just did there, too. That wasn't a bad CB. Good. And little did we know, I mean, I'll get choked up talking about it, but I didn't realize we were never going to see him again. And I can't imagine that flight on Saturday out to Cleveland, and what you guys went through as a team. It was new to you, but you knew him real well from Pro Bowl time, right?
Yeah. CB was one of you meet the coaches who are at the Pro Bowl, and Baltimore was the coaching staff from the opposing team. But after the game, we were hanging out by a little campfire at our hotel, and CB was there with a couple other coaches and just some odd-ends people. And we sat there for maybe a couple hours, 2-3 hours of just talking life, football, competing against each other.
Now, what year was this? How long ago?
This was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
So we spent out all night, probably till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And I just remembered, how amazing he was, what the love, the passion that he spoke with, the respect. And, I really felt going through the process of deciding where to go, I always went back to that moment of
really.
Yeah, it was pretty special for me. Wink was there, our linebackers coach, and we've known each other over the years, so we've kind of always had that respect for each other. But
everybody knows Wink.
Yeah, Wink's the man.
Wink's the legend in the league.
He's
man.
like one of the best coaches ever. So, that was I wish I was able to play under him. Of everyone that's. So many experiences they've had with them, with CB. And I really think the way we started that first quarter was, I think everyone was trying to just try their hardest for him and to make him proud. And I think looking back and watching the game a few times that we were just out there just overzealous and trying to do so much for someone that meant so much to the organization that once we calmed down and reeled ourselves back in, then we started to play team ball. But, we got the win and moving forward.
Well, I would say this, and I know Jarrett Johnson, who knows CB as well. Yeah. I did my recon on you early on. I had to throw a text to Double J, and he's probably out on a boat hooking something.
Probably taking someone out fishing.
Every day, I've been friends with Jarrett Johnson since he got here. Every day on Facebook, he's holding some fish up. Right?
He knows how to fish.
He's a fisherman. For you to get recruited to the organization by guys like him, and with Steve Smith, I guess that's a unique thing through Utah. You guys weren't contemporaries there, but I think that's probably a small fraternity, right? Being a Ute at that point and having played in the league, that the recruitment part for you, everybody was beating on you, saying, "Come play for our team," right? Even Ben Roethlisberger was trying to lure you to Pittsburgh, and we all know that you chose wisely.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely humbling when you have other guys from other teams reaching out to you and trying to do their part to get you to their squad. And JJ and Steve and Doom and all these guys, they didn't have to recruit me or pitch me. They knew what kind of guy I am, what type of player I am, and they just told me how this organization is top notch and how they do things around here and how they treat you the way you're supposed to be treated, and they respect you, and they give you everything that you give them. And at the end of the day, going through what I went my last year in San Diego, it was just nice to be wanted again and, be respected. And, knowing that I'm going to give everything I got to make them right.
Was Double J a guy that came there, and obviously we won after he left, and I'll get to the 4th and 29 thing because that's in the book too, and I know you were out there as part of all that year. That was a crazy day at the Murph, I'll say that. But with Double J, when you come from another organization that had the kind of success that we had here, even though he didn't get a ring here, is he in huddles and locker rooms? Because he became a quick leader there, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
And I would think that you guys bonded relatively quickly, but I'm sure there's a little of, well, this is the way Rex did it, or this is the way we did it, or is there a little bit of that when you go to another organization to say, this is the way we did it somewhere else, and it's an idea? I mean, maybe you use it or maybe you don't use it?
Not necessarily. I think when you build the rapport and you build the trust with your coaches and teammates, then you can subtly bring up that type of stuff. But JJ never, he was all in. He was just wanted to learn and be a part of the team and let his passion and his work ethic and leadership resound through the whole team. He never brought what Baltimore did when he was there, or what different coaches did. He just wanted to be a part of the guys. And I think, San Diego helped him as much as he needed it. And it was a great point that he gave me. He said, as much good you can do for Baltimore and how much they need you, Baltimore can do the same for you. And he couldn't have been more right in a sense.
Last thing on this topic, but for you being a defensive, what makes a good defense? You played on some good defenses. You've played on some bad defenses. You've had good plays, bad plays. Certainly Sunday in the beginning, those problems, and I was at your locker after the game 48 hours ago in Cleveland, and it was just sort of like, we're going to go back and look at 3 plays and realize, these weren't us getting our ass kicked 14 plays in a row down the field. This was just somebody got blocked up better than somebody else on a play. And anytime you give up an 85-yard run, that's not going to make Dean Pease or anybody, or anybody else, happy.
No. Anytime a breakdown happens or a big play happens, it's 1 or 2 guys not doing what they're coached or doing what they're supposed to do. And, that first quarter, we just had 1 or 2 guys that for whatever reason, and I've done it before, where you try to do too much or trying to make a play for whatever the reason is, and you hurt the defense more than helping it. And the last 3 quarters is what we're all about, and we just calm down, play team defense. It starts up front. As good as the secondary can be, you can have all pro at every level in the secondary, but if you don't have a good pass rush, if you guys can't stop the run, it's irrelevant on the back end. So I think you have to complement both sides. You have to have a good pass rush. You have to have a great front that puts pressure on the quarterback, and have a back end that can hold up and cover and give those guys time to get to the quarterback. So it works hand in hand. You got to have great players in all 3 levels, and I think we do. I think it's going to be a growing a process ascending throughout this season, and we have a chance to be a really good defense.
I look every day. I talk to teams from out of town and Jacksonville people this week, and I'm looking at the depth chart, and I look at our depth chart, and there's no such thing as an 11-man depth chart. I mean, in this league, if you don't have 18 guys on defense, if you don't have 2 front subs, pass rush specialists, nickel dime packages, backup corners, if you don't have that kind of depth, I mean, a lot of teams, and no offense to the Browns or any of the teams that aren't going to win a lot of games, in many cases, they don't have 6 guys that could be playing in the league. It's hard to have that kind of depth throughout the organization, and so many teams have trouble on the back end. We've been trying to replace Ed Reed here since Ed Reed left here, and and I know you've been hearing that as well. But there is that leadership part of the sixth sense of lining up and film watching, and he played the role of a daddy on that back end for 3 or 4 years at the end of his career. And the minute he disappeared, there was no one there. And you know that from the other side. I mean, coming in, I mean, they're going to have a heck of a time replacing you out in San Diego, I'm sure, in that room.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to replace guys of Ed's stature. Who's done so much, who's been at the top of the game for so long. And when you don't replace veterans and you replace them with young guys that, need that time to grow and experience and learn from the older guys, you're going to have a big drop-off. And it happens every year with teams. Or for whatever reason, guys get let go. And, it happens. But, you bring me in, you add some other guys, you pull everyone together, the coaches, players included, and you rely on each other and work together. That's why football is the greatest sport, is because It relies on 11 guys, relying on each other, doing their job to make the play successful. I mean, baseball, basketball, you can have one guy that's just that much better than everyone else and dominate the game, but one guy screws up, the play doesn't work, and that's why this sport is so unique and so cherished by a lot of us.
All right, I'm trying to calm down here for the second segment. I'm going to find myself here. 25 years of doing this. I'm prepared for Weddle tonight. Give it up for Eric Weddle. We're at Adams Jeep out here in Aberdeen. We're swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry. We're learning about our new safety and the fun and all that good stuff. Theregoesmyhero.org is the way to get there. And, of course, we're out at Adams Jeep. We're streaming live on our Facebook Live as well. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.